Hey there, Angular folks, and welcome back. If you've ever tried to build something like a password checklist in Signal Forms, you've probably run into this. You need to know if a specific validation rule failed, but the errors API doesn't make that easy. And if you try to rely on indexes, things can break pretty quickly as errors come and go. Well, in Angular 22, we're finally getting a simple fix for this. Let's jump in and see how it works. Here we have a sign-up form with a username and password field. We have a list of requirements for the password: one uppercase letter, one number, one special character, and at least 8 characters. If we add a password, as we add each of the required pieces, the UI is updated letting us know each requirement has been met. We're going to implement this specific functionality using the Signal Forms API. The tricky part here is that this UI isn't just showing errors. We need to track each rule individually. Let's start out by looking at the code we're starting with. Here's the HTML for our form component. Right here, we see our username field that's wired up using the form field directive. Then, below this, we have the validation errors for this field. The logic for this field is pretty straightforward. We just loop over the array of errors and display their message when the control is both invalid and touched. Then, if we scroll down, here we can see our password field also wired up with the form field directive. But below this field, we do not have an errors array because this concept is a little different. Here, we're starting out with our list of requirements without any special logic. This logic is what we'll be adding in a minute, but first, let's look at the TypeScript to better understand the configuration for the form. The first form-related piece we see is the interface for our form. Both fields are strings. Then, if we scroll down, we can see the model signal used to store the form state. Then, below this, we have the overall configuration for our form using the form function from the Signal Forms API. Within it, we have the required validator for the username field. Then, we have the min-length validator for the password field. Below this, we have a custom validator used to check if the password contains a number, and it has a special error kind of missing number. After this, we have a similar setup for the uppercase letter, and it has a kind of missing uppercase. And finally, we have another custom validator for the special character. Okay, that's the full setup. Now let's add some logic to highlight these requirements as they're added. To make this UI work, we need to bind a valid class on each list item when its specific validation error does not exist. One way we might try to do this is by accessing the form field, then using the errors array to get the validator by index. Let's try that. We'll use the form to access the password, then we'll use the errors array to access the validator by index. In this case, the min length was first, the missing number was second, and this error was third. Arrays are zero-based, so we'll go with an index of 2. Okay, let's save and try this out. Okay, already we can see we have a problem. Notice the min length error isn't showing up yet. That's because the field is currently empty, and min length only triggers when there's actually a value. This means that the index of 2 that we used for our uppercase error is already incorrect. But it gets even worse. If I click into the password field and add an uppercase character, watch what happens. The uppercase error is removed from the array, and the min length error is added. The order of the array completely changes. The problem here is that the errors array isn't stable. It changes based on which validators are currently failing. So not only is this fragile, it's fundamentally the wrong way to model this UI. But luckily we've got more options. Let's switch back over to the HTML. At this point, you might think, okay, I'll just search the array. Well, let's try it. Let's switch to the find method instead, where the kind equals missing uppercase. Now, this explicitly looks for the error with the kind we care about, regardless of its position in the array. Let's save and check it out. Now, if I click into the field and type an uppercase letter, you can see this worked correctly. The uppercase letter requirement is properly colored and checked. So this works, but now we're scanning the entire error array every time we want to check a single rule. It gets repetitive and it doesn't really match what we're trying to do. Well, in Angular 22, there's going to be an even better way. Now, with reactive forms, we had a feature that allowed us to do this pretty easily. We would set this up using the hasError function, like this. It's pretty clean, readable, and it explicitly checks for the error we want. Well, in Angular 22, we're getting something very similar for signal forms. Instead of scanning the entire array every time, Angular 22 introduces a new getError function. Now we can directly ask, does this specific error exist? Much cleaner, right? One important detail, signal forms can have multiple errors with the same kind, and getError will only return the first one. Now let's add the same concept for the missing number scenario. Then we'll add it for the missing special character scenario. And finally, for the min length requirement. This rule is a little different. We only want to evaluate it once the user has actually entered something. If we leave that off, we could add an 8-character value, then completely delete it, and the requirement would still show as satisfied. All right, let's save and try it out now. Let's click in and add an uppercase character. Nice. That requirement is satisfied. Now, let's add a number. That one is satisfied too. Next, let's add a special character. That case is now satisfied. And finally, let's add some more characters to get past 8. And there we go. They are all satisfied now. This is really the key idea. Instead of working with the entire error list, we're now working with individual validation states. So getError brings signal forms much closer to the ergonomics we had with hasError in reactive forms, but with a more flexible error model. And when you're building UIs like this, where each validation rule matters individually, it makes a big difference. Now, signal forms are still new, which makes this the perfect time to get ahead of the curve. If you want to go deeper, I've got a full course where I dive into these patterns, so check it out. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, I'll see you in the next one.